Hey YouTube, it's J Elizabeth. I'm going to share this video really quick. I was going to go outside, but it's storming outside. But today we're going to talk about the fourth house. And I will be, some of you know, I am studying astrology, and I'll be going to Oxford pretty soon to study even more. That's really exciting. And if you're interested, you can actually join the online if you're not going to be like in London. But you can actually do the course online. So I think that's pretty cool. For some reason, it's not letting me Facebook log in. It doesn't let me see that I'm live. I guess because it's me, technically. One second. Because I'm ready to tell you guys. All right. Hold on. I gotta put in this code. So much authentication. Cool beans. That should be done. All right. But anyways. Save this. I will be reading from this book. It's called Astrology for Mystics, Exploring the Occult Depths of the Water Houses in Your Natal Charts. And I'm coming. Everybody, come on in. Cool. Share it. It is by Tanya Lee McCullough. So the fourth house in astrology is the first water house, and it's an angular house, but it represents like your personal self, like your personal being. And today I'm going to read spiritual well-being and creating stronger bonds, like how you can do that based on your fourth house. If you're in here, feel free to comment your fourth house in the live chat. So the fourth house, yeah, everybody has a fourth house. Let me get that straight. If you don't have plans in your fourth house, the sign on your fourth house is still important. But if you do have planets in your fourth house, feel free to put them in the live chat because I will read them to you. I'm going to go more in depth on Patreon, but for today, because it tells you about, in this book specifically, it tells you about your emotional well-being based on your fourth house, your spiritual well-being, your home, your lineage and lessons, your psychic influence, and how to create stronger romantic bonds. So I'm going to start with Aries, and then I'm going to go all the way to Pisces. And if you know your fourth house, feel free to put that in the comments. But let's go over first what the fourth house represents. It represents family, culture, family origin or your roots, your inheritances, your parents, properties, treasures, mystical secrets and matters, your home environment, and how you relate to yourself. It also represents inner peace, how you nurture people, and your comforts and luxuries in life. So if it's more Leo, that's more luxurious. And if it's like, I'll say Capricorn, not so much. Get it? All right. Let's get straight into Aries. For your spiritual well-being, it is imperative for you to be discerning about what you expect and accept as spiritually or philosophically true. Aries is a fiery sign, so you have the tendency to charge ahead without reflecting on the implications or long-term consequences of what you say or do. It's perfectly fine to be a champion for truth and justice, but just make sure whatever ideology you're so passionate about is really in alignment with your core values. Fourth house Aries should also beware of a tendency towards selfishness by ensuring whatever you are fighting for is for the greater good. You will grow spiritually from living your life in this manner and by channeling all of your passion into transcending gross materialism. So, materialism isn't really for you. You need to actually figure out what your values are. And if you're looking for your values, it's actually represented by your second house. In your second house, if you go back three, uh, based on whole sign, is Pisces, Aquarius, and then Capricorn. Capricorn. So the Capricorn will give you understanding of your values. Go ahead and look that up. Capricorn second house. Anyways, you to create stronger romantic bonds, people with Aries in the fourth house will create the strongest romantic bond with a partner who respects their individuality and freedom. You need to be in a relationship with someone who isn't clingy and has an active social life and rewarding career independent of your relationship. This is absolutely necessary for you to feel like you can make moves without your partner relying on you as an all encompassing source of meaning or amusement. Those with Aries in the fourth house need a partner who is just as strong willed as they are, or they will become frustrated and lose interest very quickly. Do yourself a favor and run, don't walk. If you meet people who need a lot of hand holding or encouragement in order to do what they have to do, Aries don't mind being role models, but they require a confident lover in order to really make a connection. And it will be easier for you to create a strong romantic bond with a thick skinned person who won't take your occasional outbursts personally. I, in fact, have a Aries fourth house. And I can attest that is correct. But I go based off of Placidus and I go based off of whole sign. Whole sign, my fourth house is actually in Pisces. But in Placidus, my fourth house is indeed in Aries. And I identified with this for sure because my IC, when it comes to whole sign, my IC is not really in the right house. It's definitely more so in the fifth house. And then my midheaven is more in the 10th, not 10th house. It's normally in the 10th house, but mine is in the 11th house. And that actually has a super, super big meaning. And I'll talk about that in another video. Or I'll talk about that on Patreon. If you guys want to know, let me know. I'll tell you in the comments. But Taurus in the fourth house. When it comes to your spiritual well-being, security is important to you. You will be wise to seek security in every aspect of your domestic and financial life. You should always have a savings account. However, be careful not to become a Scrooge or hyper materialistic. Have balance. Resist the propaganda that all spiritual people have to be rebels who live on the edge. That is not for you, and that is okay. To grow spiritually, you have to consider not only your own needs, but the needs of others in your community. Learn to find joy in service to others. When it comes to creating stronger bonds romantically, people with Taurus in the fourth house will create the strongest romantic bonds with a person who is equally committed to the success of the relationship. They need to know that they will get a return on the time and energy they are investing in someone else. When their lover's intentions aren't clear and their goals as a couple are vague, it creates distance. Choose a partner who appreciates sensuality and affectionate displays, someone who enjoys a candlelit dinner, soft music, and a glass of wine just as much as you do. Your partner can have a freaky side, but you don't like them being smutty or inappropriate. So make sure your partner understands the difference. Make sure your preference for ease doesn't lead to a toxic passivity. There are times when confrontation is necessary. All right. Let us go to the Gemini fourth house. Hey, Gemini fourth house. We are reading from Astrology for Mystics. And we are talking about your spiritual well-being and your creating romantic bonds. So for you, it would be a tremendous benefit for those with Gemini in the fourth house to travel for the express. What? Did you even write that? I'm gonna start over. It would be of tremendous benefit for those with Gemini in the fourth house to travel for the express purpose of gaining spiritual insight. Visit national and international sacred sites and holy places. This will benefit you immensely if you resist the urge to simply collect facts about the place you visit and really attempt to connect with the essence of these special places. People with Gemini in the fourth house have an incredible analytical ability that will be best used to identify the similarities and interconnectedness of different cultures and ways of life. In order to grow spiritually, seek the unity of all things and the divine in the mundane. Change the world not by seeking salvation or enlightenment via the experiences of others, but by realizing things for yourself. Don't let others tell you where to be, what to do. No is a wonderful word. And no one can overtake you if you don't let them. Creating stronger romantic bonds. Geminis in the fourth house may have issues with making commitments. So don't agree to a monogamous relationship unless you're absolutely sure you're ready. Be sure that person is someone you can talk to. You will not be able to really bond with a romantic partner unless you find conversation intellectually stimulating. It doesn't matter how kind partners are, how much money they have, or how good they look. You will not be satisfied without that mental connectedness. Sapiosexuals often have this placement. It is very important that your relationships permit you to express yourself freely and openly, or you will feel insecure, burdened, and unhappy. All right, Cancer in the fourth house. Hey guys, I am reading from Astrology for Mystics, and I will be reading two different parts of this. And the first is your spiritual well being. Fourth house Cancerians must learn to love themselves unconditionally. The only way to do this is to be patient with yourself and become more confident in your ability to overcome any challenges you may encounter. Learn to trust the universe and believe that you will be divinely guided. It will be wise for you to learn to observe your emotions without judging them or acting on them. Every feeling doesn't warrant an immediate response. Becoming accustomed to acknowledging your feelings without being so quick to identify with a particular one. Situations may often feel a range of different emotions, so give yourself some time to think things through to avoid any unnecessary outbursts. If you identify with love and act from a place of love, you will find that you will get more of what you want out of life. This is true for everyone, but especially true for you. So if you have Cancer in the fourth house, don't be afraid of your emotions. Let them fly. For creating stronger romantic bonds, Cancers in the fourth house would do best in safe, predictable, monogamous relationships. Your partner should not be emotionally unavailable or fearful of emotional intimacy, or you will certainly get hurt. Your partner should be protective and dedicated and revel in all of your attention. It would be best to date someone who won't mind cuddling at home most of the time and doesn't mind splurging on dinner at your favorite restaurants. Or it may become a serious source of connection or contention, sorry. Ensure that your partner is family oriented or is willing to become part of your clan once both of you have decided to make things official. It will be almost impossible for you to feel secure or comfortable with anyone that doesn't get along with your kin or close friends, or who doesn't like or want children. Cheating will make you feel really, really bad. Don't do it. Express how you feel about infidelity to anyone that expresses interest in being in a serious relationship with you. Be certain that a potential partner understands what you consider disloyal or inappropriate behavior. To prevent misunderstandings, unnecessary conflict, or a premature breakup. Do not agree to couple with anyone who disagrees or expresses annoyances with your perspective regarding matters of the heart. Respect your boundaries, okay? Respect your boundaries. Everybody. Hey, Leo in the fourth house. I am reading from Astrology for Mystics for the fourth house for your spiritual well-being and how to create stronger romantic bonds. Let's get started. For Leo in the fourth house, low vibration Leos in the fourth house pride themselves on their ability to dominate or manipulate others. High vibration Leos in the fourth house pride themselves on their discipline and self-mastery. Recognize that a good leader respects the fact that people grow and evolve at their own pace in their own time. Do not resort to bullying or ridicule to force people to agree with you. The source of your courage should be based on strong moral values and the desire to do the right thing for the benefit of others, not anger or pride. To create stronger romantic bonds, you need to feel appreciated and even put on a pedestal by your lover. Lovers should be more comfortable with giving than receiving on every level. Admit this and seek such people. Refuse pissing contests with your significant other. Choose someone who admires people who know what they want and are willing to do whatever it takes to get it. A significant other who is jealous of your ambition or accomplishments will be a disaster, and the relationship will end very badly. I feel like that's for anybody though, but I'm just saying, there's your fourth house. Hey Virgos, I am reading Astrology for Mystics, and we will talk about your spiritual well-being for the fourth house. Stop minimizing the importance of making progress. No matter how small, learn to enjoy the whole journey by celebrating all sized victories and daily blessings. Try retelling something that went wrong as your favorite comedian would describe the situation during the stand-up routine. Learn to laugh at yourself. Don't forget to remain engaged in the world beyond material pursuits. When was the last time you watched the sunrise? Beware of imposing your beliefs and how you think things should be. Reserve your high standards for yourself, or you risk alienating the people you claim to care about. You have a talent for knowing exactly what needs to be done to improve a situation, but let others come to you for advice. No one likes a know-it-all. And to create stronger romantic bonds, make sure your lover meets your hygiene expectations and has dietary habits that you accept and respect. Don't date anyone that is unable to accept constructive criticism, or things won't work out. Avoid the tendency to remain tight-lipped about how you feel, or your partner may begin to feel neglected. Open up. It is important for your family to like your partner. So make sure that partner is already good enough to meet them. If you have to try to convince your lover to do a makeover in any way, to be fit, to meet your family, that may breed resentment. So resist the urge to fall in love with a person's potential. And that's for everybody, but for you specifically. Choose an optimist for long-term relationships to balance your pessimistic or perfectionist tendencies. All right, guys. Hey, Libra in the fourth house. This is for you. I am reading from Astrology for Mystics, and this is the fourth house. For your spiritual well-being, that was a weird accent. Let me go back. For your spiritual well-being, recognize that no matter how objective you believe yourself to be, you're not. Everyone is a product of their life experiences. Hey! And those experiences affect how we perceive the world and ourselves. Learn how to deal with conflict in a healthy way instead of avoiding the issue. Do what you have to do to be comfortable in your own skin. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Pursue occupations and hobbies that you find respectable and that bring you a sense of peace. And don't wait forever for the perfect time to do something for you really want to do, because more often than not, it doesn't exist. That doesn't mean you have to be careless, but learn to take risks when necessary. All right, Libra in the fourth house. To create stronger romantic bonds, connect with a partner who believes in traditional ideas about love and romance. Admit to potential partners from the beginning that you care about anniversaries and old-fashioned courting rituals so you don't feel deprived or disappointed. If a person you're considering dating expresses any cynical or dismissive attitudes regarding this, immediately count your losses and move on. You won't be happy with that partner in the long run, even if you convince yourself that it's not a big deal now. If a potential partner expresses disinterest in a serious relationship, you may want to reevaluate whether you should continue. You want to be in love and shouldn't waste time trying to convince partners they should too. Make sure your love values, expectations, and intensity levels are compatible before pairing up. All right, Scorpio in the fourth house. I am reading from Astrology for Mystics. And let's get to your spiritual well-being. Yours is kind of short. I think it's because it's a water sign. It says, heal your wounds so that you can learn to trust again. Consider the possible consequences of putting any plans for revenge in motion and be prepared to live with the outcome, whatever that may be. And for you to create stronger romantic bonds, don't even bother dating someone who doesn't have a deep desire to be with you. Intense emotional connection with you because it won't work. Let all potential partners know exactly what your deal breakers are and let them know that the biggest one is being disloyal or dishonest. If you even have any others, let them know those too. That was really short, Scorpio, but we're going to move on to Sagittarius in the fourth house. Hey guys, we are reading Astrology for Mystics. And for your spiritual well-being, Sagittarius need to be wary of violating their moral and ethical ideals, or they will suffer a sense of deep shame and regret. Keep it real, adhering to your highest standards. Create a life that permits you as much freedom as possible to pursue what genuinely interests you, and encourage those around you to broaden their horizons as well. Share your knowledge freely without expecting anything in return, and you'll receive blessings. When it comes to creating stronger romantic bonds, make sure that all potential mates understand that you don't like to be pinned down or avalanched with expectations. You require someone who is totally comfortable seeing how things go, as opposed to a lover who is constantly pressing you to make a commitment. If monogamy isn't for you or isn't for you at a particular time, it is important for you to admit to being polygamous. Sagittarians tend to be fickle out in the romance rather quickly. So it tends to fizzle out rather quickly for Sagittarians. So make sure you have a conscious decision to show affection to your partner even after the novelty or that honeymoon phase has worn off. All right, Capricorn in the fourth house. This we are reading from Astrology for Mystics. And for your spiritual well-being, the most important lesson for you is learning to manage that inner voice that whispers pessimistic or abusive thoughts to you. Don't allow perfectionism to ruin your happiness. Never seek validation or proof of your relevance from external sources. You are really important. A certificate, diploma, or initiation may be useful for navigating or assessing certain spaces, but don't forget that it has nothing to do with your true inner power. To create stronger romantic bonds, you'll be most compatible with someone who values your ambition and sober planning. A free spirit type who keeps nagging you to be less practical will eventually become a drag. Even though public displays of affection may not be your thing, don't underestimate the impact of occasionally expressing your passion for a partner in front of other people. It doesn't have to be crass or distasteful. Just a simple gesture will suffice. Lighten up a little. If your significant other offends, annoys, or hurts you, resist the urge to silently hold a grudge. If forgivable, then forgive. If it isn't, then just break up. And that's not my advice. Which one, Tanya? Is it Capricorn? I feel like I'm late seeing that. But this is for Aquarius in the fourth house. We are reading Astrology for Mystics. Your spiritual well-being. You want to live a life on your own terms. But before you can do that, you must first be clear about what you really want. Capricorn. Oh, okay. Well, show some affection. For Aquarius in the fourth house, though, you also have to consider how far you will go, or who or what you're willing to sacrifice to get it. Sacrifice for you guys is unavoidable. But to create stronger romantic bonds, fourth house Aquarians need a lot of personal space. So make sure to not hook up with anybody whose clinginess or dependency exceeds your comfort levels. It's critical for you to have partners who are comfortable with change and won't be disturbed when you're not exactly the same person they just met 6 months earlier. They should also be open to ideas and unafraid of changing their perspectives. Pisces in the fourth house. We are reading Astrology for Mystics, and you are the last but not least. For your spiritual well-being, everyone knows that being judgmental is not your thing, but don't be a fool either. If you met someone and you see red flags, don't ignore them because you feel bad. Be kind to yourself and your future first. Don't let the fears of insecurities of others prevent you from pursuing your dreams, or it will haunt you forever. As someone with Pisces in your fourth house, loyalty and trust are super important to you. Your spiritual well-being will be improved immensely by ensuring that the people closest to you are 100% invested in your success and happiness. As an empath, it is important to make sure you aren't holding on to what you may pick up from other people. Water is key. Take spiritual baths to cleanse your aura of any psychic debris you may have picked up, and bathe with sea salt whenever you feel depressed or unmotivated. When it comes to creating stronger romantic bonds, it's important that you feel valued in your relationships. So stay clear of lovers with a wandering eye who are in any way less devoted to you than you are to them. You have a broad, open mind and you love to share your insights with others. Therefore, it will be best to find someone who doesn't mind having intense philosophical discussions on a regular basis. You feel very deeply, so sometimes you can take things the wrong way. Try to focus on the intention behind what was said, even if the delivery wasn't exactly to your liking. Unless your significant other is just a jerk, most likely she or he did not intend to hurt you, but was just trying to get you focused. Avoid the tendency to space out so much that your partner begins to feel neglected because you're always in your own head. You can prevent this by creating a dreamscape for two every now and then. Watch the sunrise or sunset together, or send poems expressing how you feel. Tanya, they just want a little bit of love and affection. So, like I said, I prefer to look at Placidus and whole sign when it comes to fourth house and all the houses. Honestly, when I do my birth chart readings, I do both Placidus and whole sign for everyone who gets the birth chart reading. But so for me, my fourth house is both Aries and it's Pisces. So aggression and the need to be like really respected, honestly respected and supported. So tell me what your fourth house is in the comments. And if you have any planets, I will come back and do planets in the fourth house because I feel like that is super important. But that is the end for today, guys. Later.